has been an awakening. The dark side.
What's up, guys? It's Brian.
And I'm Eric.
And if you've been anywhere on the internet today, you've seen that the episode 7 for Star Wars teaser trailer, not a full trailer, launched today. So we're going to kind of show it to you, go over a little bit more about it, speculate.
The awesomeness of it, and I know that I, for one, think that it looks amazing. I know there's people out there who are kind of, oh, that doesn't look quite right, but...
Why are they back over on Tatooine? There's nothing over there.
That doesn't quite make sense.
So,
and remember, people, everything outside of the movies and the Clone Wars is no longer canon. Nope. So chill out with that shit.
fresh and clean.
Fresh and clean. Starting
like
over.
a baby butt.
Okay, so obviously it kind of fades in with the voice of what we're considering as a Sith, I would assume. He sounds very Sithy.
Not a sissy. A
Sithy.
Thee.
Obviously doesn't sound anything like any of our characters that are coming back, Luke or Han or any of them. So we're not sure who it is. And, we don't know who he's talking to.
Yes, he's it's obviously somebody who would be Force sensitive because he's asking about
because he says, have you felt it?
Yeah, he's asking, do you feel the Force awakening? There are a lot of speculations as to the rebirth of Palpatine through the Force.
And I'm really hoping that it's not, because I'd like to just get over Palpatine, because he's been around here for a while. So
yeah, he made 6 movies.
Yeah, he's the main bad guy in 6 movies. I think we're done with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then so it shows the opening of Tatooine,
which
after
we would assume is
his
Tatooine.
line, and boom, you have a stormtrooper, obviously very confused, in a panic state.
Looks like he just woke up. It seems like, because he's really confused. Clearly, he's not one of the clone troopers. Those have been kind of weeded out through time. So
now it's more of an enlist kind of thing.
And also, it sounds like when it starts to fade away from that shot, that you can hear like a droid noise, kind of like the probe droids that were on Hoth. So that thing.
Somebody's gonna get in the comments and be like, well, actually, there's a different variant of that droid. One is a winter droid and one is a desert droid. Because the sand gets in the winter droid and it's gonna break.
Exactly.
So you gotta use the sand droid, which
and
is a different
snow
model.
droids are actually, they have power against snow that they can melt. No. Stop it.
So the next black to cut of footage is the small droid scurrying across the desert. Now he's on like a sphere, and then he's got a head that's kind of like R2, but he's obviously smaller. I would say, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall.
I honestly think that thing looks like a soccer ball. I don't know if it actually is a soccer ball. It looks like a soccer ball, though.
They play soccer in Star Wars.
Yeah, they play soccer.
No.
But yeah, and we're trying to figure out, like, is that... I don't think that ball thing is part of his body, but it seems like, is that his whole robot body, or is that just his head that was attached to a body that, kind of like jettisoned away from it and, an escape?
Yeah, because he's moving pretty quick, and he's obviously looking for something. His head's turning, and he's kind of on a mission.
And he looks like he's in a junkyard on
yeah,
Tatooine.
some ships and different stuff. Now they don't look dilapidated, so it could just be like a port, some kind of like off small port somewhere. Mm-hmm. But again, you don't see any kind of life as far as no creatures or aliens or people.
So. No Jawas.
No Jawas.
So then we cut to the troopers, the new stormtroopers. Are they still calling them stormtroopers?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think they changed that.
It looks like the photos for that have been, revealed a little bit earlier on. And you could see that they have a new design where it's kind of like a mixture between the original stormtroopers from, 4, 5, and 6, and then the clone troopers. It has that
the longer
mixture of they definitely look more slick and more like technology has progressed a little bit, and they're standing there what looks like on a dropship.
Dropships, I'm sure they're like lock and load. They pull the guns up.
They're ready to storm something, and when the door opens, you can't really see where they're going. It doesn't look like Tatooine, but it could be Tatooine at night.
So you also have to speculate as who's controlling
who's controlling them. Yeah, that's true.
Commanding this
because the Empire was leaderless at the end of the last ones. So, where are they coming from? Why are they rising back up again?
Especially because they all blew up on the moon again.
They blew up, yeah.
They blew up on the moon.
They should learn. I mean, the first time the Death Star and they're like, let's make another one and it'll be perfectly safe for all of us.
Didn't work.
Not smart.
All right, so I'll cut that, and then we'll talk about.
It worked for. It didn't work for them the first time, but it might work for us. Okay, let's just do those two. Yeah, the girl on the bike, and then.
Okay. So, in then our next cut, you have a female character, again looking very panicked. I think that could lead into the whole infiltrating thing that we saw before.
Yeah,
But she makes a quick turn, fires up a speeder, and she takes off down, again, the desert, which looks like Tatooine.
It doesn't look like a speeder that we've seen before. It's kind of, but I mean, obviously, it's just maybe a different model. It looks like a cheaper kind of speeder.
It looks like they took the front of a land speeder and
then flipped it sideways yeah.
and then attached a speeder bike on the back.
Pretty much.
And then just... So
then you can't really make a lot of speculation about the girl herself. Besides, I mean, she just looks like she's in regular Tatooine clothes.
Yeah, it was weird because the way the helmet, her wrap is, and her goggles are, it felt like indoor to me just a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
It seemed a little indoorish, but that's neither here or there.
Yeah, and I mean because we didn't see any kind of weapon on her. We didn't see lightsaber or anything peeking under her robes or anything. So we're not sure who she is, if she's a main character or don't know.
I'm sure if we did some severe scouring of cast and stuff, we could probably pinpoint it.
Probably,
but we'll leave that for all the fun when the movie comes out next year. After that, we went to what was obviously some kind of aquatic planet.
Not Tatooine.
Not Tatooine. We've switched planets.
Yeah.
Not Tatooine, being an aquatic planet with X-Wings.
Yes.
Obviously battle damage.
Skimming the water. Yeah, they look like
they've been requisitioned. They're not making new X-Wings. Those are some post.
And we're assuming that those are the newer model of X-Wing that was also revealed when J.J. Abrams did his little video. So they're not exactly like the old X-Wings from the 4, 5, and 6, but they definitely been used before. That shot could somehow correlate with the other shot of the stormtroopers because that one it didn't look like Tatooine, the one that the stormtroopers are coming down. You couldn't really see anything, but it didn't look like Tatooine either.
Yeah, it was pretty dark. So either they were maybe infiltrating some kind of base, or something that was planet that the ships are on. It's very blue, and very dark. So
it looked like it.
It could be something with a lighting where you don't get to see the actual planet surface.
Yes,
and go that way. But yeah, I think that we're gonna get some planet jumping, which is cool.
Awesome.
What planets? I mean, I don't remember if Yavin was a water planet. I know it was a forest.
Yeah.
Forest
well,
moon.
there was. I mean, there's Kashyyyk as well, but Kashyyyk was also a lot of forest, but it did have water. So big ocean-like areas.
Where are they going? Who knows? I mean, if Luke is going to be in there and they do the new Jedi Academy, it's going to be Yavin.
Yes.
But
we don't know if they're following it.
Yeah, we don't know.
So fades to black, cuts up again, and we obviously see a dark figure, some dark robes and stuff. Sith, we would all assume from the fact that he opens up his red lightsaber, and he says it's a different red lightsaber, and we'll get to that in a second. The voice says the dark side and the light, which he was continuing on from before when he said that there was an awakening. Have you felt it? He's in the dark side and the light, from which I'm getting that Luke has probably started to train more Jedi. Whether or not Leia has become a Jedi, because, you know, in the extended universe, she does start to train and to become a Jedi and use the Force, but that's all been squashed. So she could be, she might not be.
What if this is all just a huge, like, just red herring? And they're like, yeah, none of this is canon. But then in the movie, like, all the stuff we knew,
it was all canon.
It's all, it's
they're
all
just
canon.
trying to throw us off.
They're just trying to
Oh man, Thrawn! If Thrawn popped up, I would scream and pee, and it would be horrible for that theater.
So what you were saying is you're sitting on the end, and
no, I'm sitting right next to you.
Then
So I'm
Jen, and then Jen, and then Frankie, and then
Shane,
me.
and then we're gonna have like a whole row
I am
between us.
all the way over here, all the way. No urine for me, no thanks.
I'm gonna aim it that way and arch it.
So let's go on as far as like the lightsaber goes. Now there is a real heated debate about the lightsaber.
That's the big thing.
Not only because of what it does, but just the structure too, because they're trying to define the purpose. So when he ignites the lightsaber, of course it goes out, and it seems bigger, like
It
longer
seems
outwards.
longer. The actual blade of the lightsaber is a lot more like shaky. It's not as defined.
Which goes into the red crystals anyway. 'Cause the
Exactly,
idea of
yeah.
the Sith is that they synthesize those crystals
Yes.
only to mock the Jedi Order.
So it could be, and then people are saying that they think that it's a very old lightsaber, which would be really cool. I mean, and then of course there's the two little.
Yeah, what you want to call it, like almost like
The hilt.
I forget what they actually call it on the sword. The
hilt
palm,
or-
not the pommel, but the
Handguard.
hand. Yeah, you want to call it like a
Pretty
handguard. I'm
much, yeah.
sorry if we don't know the proper terminology of said sword.
This part of the sword.
This part right here, this one across the way. But it ignites also with, energy. So the idea was, it could, protect your hand from getting it.
It works exactly like the way that you would, regular sword has those there.
So,
But
so what we're seeing is Star Wars is obsessed with cutting people's hands off.
yeah.
Because
So this guy's like,
not me. No, I got this. So, but the thing is that they say that when the blade ends and you have the actual hilt, there's a big gap about this far between this and the actual handguard.
yeah.
So a slight attack will go
Would hit
through the
that.
saber and then right into his hand anyway.
It's very true.
The other thing they were talking about was, have you ever really seen a saber slide?
No, because whenever they hit each other, they always go.
Yeah,
and they
always
seem, they don't really slide off of each other.
So then someone was like, oh, well, you could like shank somebody with
You
it.
could use it, yeah, of
Like you
course.
could punch
Like,
somebody
if you're
with
just going, "Huh," and then you go like that, and you go,
Yeah.
But it's, I think the thing that made it the worst is when it comes out, it's like this big awesome lightsaber, and then it goes, and it almost seems very silly, just and it's like two little tiny lightsabers. So
Had they done something a bit different with it, like instead of it being like epic, and then if it had been like, whoa, like all.
or
at
if
the
there was
same
some kind of like light burst from that spot, and it just went,
Yeah.
that would make it cooler looking. But it's the practicality of it. We're gonna have to find out. But I'm in the middle on it. It's not enough for me to be like, F this movie, flip the table. Like, I'm just kind of like, I might not like that character.
Yeah, I think that. Look at what Darth Maul did for the staff saber.
Exactly. Yeah.
We were kind of like, oh, that's really cool, and he made it awesome.
Yeah.
So this could be that same thing. Is like he's gonna bring that thing out somewhere,
And then people are gonna love it.
and people are gonna love it because he's gonna have some means of using
way
those
of
two
making
ends,
it look really cool.
and your brain is gonna blow out the top of your skull. What's left of it will ooze out your nose.
Yeah. And then later in the day, you'll probably poop some out.
It'll roll all the way down.
All the way down.
Because that's anatomy.
That's how
if you don't know
body
it,
works.
read it. Check your anatomy
We're
books.
always trying to
kids.
help. And then he's in the middle of a wintry forest. Obviously, like Bryan pointed out to me, it's not Hoth because there's vegetation, and Hoth is a barren, frozen wasteland.
And-
But
we can't speculate that it's 100% snow either. Like it could be ash.
that's true.
Like if you look at like
That's true,
Pompeii or
yeah.
something, it could
Or
be
Kratos.
yeah. Like it could be anything at this
It
point.
could be a lot. And I want to. like it kind of makes you wonder when he walks up and he just stops and pulls his lightsaber out. There's nothing around him. He looks like he's kind of looking at the ground. So I'm thinking that there's something buried there. I mean, he's in the middle of the forest for some reason looking for something. Because, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's being attacked or something. Either that or he just, you know, has these awesome, you know, force senses and just felt like, oh, man, I'm being followed. Pew.
And, like, there's a weird... I read a book a long time ago with Star Wars that was really... It's really, really off. It's one of those really off, you know, non-canon books. But I always found it was really interesting is that when the Death Star blew up the second time,
mm-hmm.
like, all the debris lands on Endor, and Vader's hand, his glove that was still attached,
mm-hmm.
lands intact on the moon, and they're hunting for it, and they found it, and a guy who claimed to be the Emperor's son, like, was wearing it and using it mechanically, like, with science, not the Force, with science, to, like, shoot lightning from his fingers and stuff like that, but what it was doing was disfiguring his entire hand. It's a really weird story because, like, the son of the Emperor was, like a mutant. Like, it was really nasty. And so he was trying to take that throne and propel the Empire back into greatness. So, I mean, like I said, that was way non-canon, but I don't know. That's just for some reason when you said that he was looking for something.
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
well, and while we're on it, though, they also released those pictures of Darth Vader's helmet. And it was all decrepit and just like, it looked like it was destroyed. And people are assuming that it is a relic of the Sith for some reason. So, it could be that. Be like, yeah, we buried it around here somewhere.
Well, it blew up over there.
Yeah, so his head is somewhere around
when the
here.
debris comes down in this cloud, it's going to be over there.
I don't know. It's gonna. Oh, there it is.
Oh. Well, we kind of broke it, but it's a relic. So
it was already pretty. We found it that way.
Yeah, it's legit. I've got a certificate for it.
I got it signed by the Comic Authority.
Yeah, we're good. All right. So again, fades to black, cuts back in on a hard cut, and it's like the first iconic thing that you've seen.
Well, they throw like nostalgia at your face hardcore because that's when the music cuts in, like kicks in really strong, and that's when the Millennium Falcon just goes, and you're just like
back on Tatooine, no doubt.
And Tatooine for some reason.
Yeah, so he's back on Tatooine, and he's doing it. You know, he's flying it.
And
like
we're assuming it's Han Solo because he's the only one that can fly it like that, unless it's Lando Calrissian.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that, and I just got like,
that'd be really cool.
I got a little excited. Like, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, it's obviously someone who's very skilled in the Millennium Falcon.
Yes,
so you got Han, of course, like you said, Lando. I had never thought of that.
Yeah.
Chewbacca. Of course.
Chewbacca. Maybe for some reason, somehow he taught Leia, because I mean they're married, and
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, so then,
we're assuming they're married.
So it comes up and it's doing an obvious evasive maneuver. Up and comes and does a barrel roll.
Yeah. Do a barrel roll. And then you're like, Shuttle, don't tell me what to do, Peppy.
It comes around, and what does it run into?
2 TIE fighters.
TIE fighters.
And they're awesome shooting at them with their green lasers. They haven't changed the color of their lasers.
No. And it's a sharp cut, and it looks like he cuts in between them, and boom.
Yeah.
Title screen.
Title screen. Same
Music is still...
Same title screen and everything.
This title right
here. Except for it's not pixelated like
not
this.
Pixelated.
These are the graphics right here. This is a screenshot of the graphics. They're high-tech, high quality right there.
Minus the lens flare, because you know that's on the back end of that, J.J. Abrams. We got this.
A little bit of lens flare. And then in the other movies was something that I don't really remember. They never had the subtitle of the movie on the actual title where it said Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Did it like at the very bottom or something like that? This one kind of cuts Star Wars right in the middle and says Force Awakens.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just a modernization.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to really affect anything. I think, and I really hope that, that when the movie does come out and we see the actual crawl for the first time and everybody's just like, stomachs down and just gripping the arms of the theater chairs as tight as you can, that it's exactly like it was before. Star Wars, yellow text, Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, crawl.
Oh, man, and if they did it with an actual camera and the way that they did it originally, that'd be so cool. And it'd be a little secret, because you wouldn't be able to tell you know, technology is so advanced that it just, you know, you'd think that it'd be done with CG, but I would be
with
giddy
all the
if I
practical
found out.
effects and stuff. I wouldn't put it past him. Models, puppets.
Kevin
everything.
Smith went on set and freaking cried. So I'm really excited about it because he's a pretty huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
So
giant.
yeah.
So, you know, from there, cuts off. So,
And then at the very end, there's a lightsaber sound. I don't know if that's relevant at all. Probably not. It just goes, you know. But that's it. At least they didn't. I want to make a cut of this, and just at the very end, all you do is add Darth Vader's breathing.
and everybody
would go
loses their mind.
It would pass all over the internet. If you see it, it was me. We'll see how many people watch.
Started
this
here,
video. It
and we're
started
sorry.
here. And also happy.
At the same time.
Okay.
So, that is the long-awaited Star Wars teaser.
One thing that I noticed, we didn't see any swipes or fades. No swipes or fades.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to keep it in there. It is a very iconic thing of Star Wars, but you know, we don't really need it. So
I mean, you may have one as a shout
Yeah,
out, but everything
just
else I think is going to be fairly modern.
just do it.
So down in the comments, just let us know, you know, if you saw something that we missed, or maybe we're misinterpreting something that you are interpreting a different way, or maybe you're fact checked us, you know. Maybe
Or
we
you
we
just want to nerd rage. Just do it. Nerd rage all over your screen. Because that's fine.
I'll
We don't
take
care.
it like a champ.
Right in the face.
Boom.
And in through your eyes and into your brain, and you'll process it, and then you won't respond.
Because I'll be afraid.
Yeah, it's scary.
I'll be like, this guy knows way too
I
much
know.
for me to try to talk to him.
No.
Oh, he's going to kick my ass.
So
Intellectually. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for this breakdown of Star Wars teaser, The Force Awakens. And we'll see you next time.
we will see you later.
Oh,